Just stop recording.
Hey, how are you?
Okay. So, yes, thank you so much, ladies, for bearing with me, being patient, because this was very, very unexpected. I wasn't expecting any challenges. I have tested it over and over again, but here we are, still having the same challenge, tech challenge. But whatever the case is, I'm not deterred, and I believe you are not as well. So welcome to the Business and Personal Growth Summit. This is a summit that we organize to help empower each other as women, to share ideas, to share business ideas, to share personal improvement, personal growth ideas that empowers us to move on with our lives and to move on with what it is that we need to do to get better results for our businesses and our lives. So this period is lost because I was going to introduce myself, but indeed, in a nutshell, I am Beatrice Yakubu. If we haven't met before, my background is nursing, but I have transitioned in the area of entrepreneurship, helping business owners to be able to use the digital media to attract clients, helping them to understand and navigate what a social media is like in terms of using it to attract clients. We have all heard about a social media, but sometimes we are still intimidated as far as that is concerned. And we just had that this evening, in fact, with what has happened with the tech. And obviously, that's just some of the challenges. But whatever the case is, that we need to persevere and make sure that that doesn't serve as a deterrent, but a motivator to continue to push forward with regards to what God has laid in our hearts to be able to serve people. So I'm not going to speak for long because, again, we have done half an hour already messing about with tech. Our speakers tonight are Pastor Folris Lymon, and she is a talk show host, as well as Blessing Yakubu, my daughter. She is going to be talking about digital media and social media, specifically, and how to use AI to be able to motivate us. So I can see in the chat, Lady Catherine, Lady Coach Catherine, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. Of course, our host, as our speaker, our guest speaker, Pastor Floris, you're welcome. Thank you for doing us the honor to be able to share your ideas and your insight with us on this summit. Thank you, Pastor Joy. I can see you waving my hand. Pastor Osa, thank you so much for joining us. I am so grateful that you are both here, you're all here. And indeed, we are going to listen to Pastor Floris. But before we do that, we need to let us understand the person that we are going to be learning from or listening to. Because this lady has done incredible things. What she's going to talk about is going to be about resilience, personal resilience. I know, through her personal story, that she's not just somebody who is going to be just talking. She has walked the walk, and indeed, if she's talking, it is something that she has to do time and time again in her personal life. But then that whatever challenges that she faced did not push her down. She has been able to navigate through that, and indeed she's standing on the other side, empowering women on day-to-day basis, empowering individuals. I wouldn't say women alone, empowering people on day-to-day basis, men, women, young people. She is there, widows, she is there, prisoners. Like, she is just an embodiment of what you would say a resilient woman. And I really have the honor of introducing this woman. So Pastor Floris is a talk show host, and the show is called Practical Talk with Folris Lymon. She is a youth and transformational coach. She is a dedicated wife, mother of two, and a deputy head of learning as a secondary school, at a secondary school. She's also serves as an assistant pastor, providing spiritual guidance to her congregation, an accomplished author of 2 books. Wow, 2 books, amazing. I've done one and it's not an easy job. So yes, round of applause for her for that. Floris is passionate about inspiring others to discover and develop their God-given talent. As an event host, a chat host, and a speaker, she engages and motivates audience with her dynamic presence. Her role as a charity ambassador highlights her commitment to family welfare and community well-being. A natural networker, Floris excels at bringing people together and fostering supportive communities. Through her various roles, Floris embodies perseverance, faith, and compassion, making lasting impact on those around her. So, ladies, let us give a round of applause. Shall I see your emojis, your love signs, your your happy signs, your clap signs for Pastor Floris? I am so excited to have you here. So I will hand the invisible mics to you, Pastor Floris. Shall I give you the make you a co-host to be able to share slides? Are you using slides?
I'm not using slides. I have notes. I can save the notes and maybe send it to you.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So that I'm not holding us back.
No worries at all.
Thank you so very much, Lady Beatrice, for the privilege. Good evening once again. Good evening to you all, ladies, great women, great inspirers, great motivators. Good evening to you all. It's an honor to be here with you today, Lady Beatrice. I say thank you for the opportunity to share and to learn, and for your support to some of the things that I do. It's as if you work with me every day. Thank you so very much. The time that I have is not going to be enough to touch on everything. Just like we all have so much experiences, life experiences, and the way that we have managed to persevere through them. So I will just be sharing some thoughts on this matter that is really close to my heart. Talking about the benefits of perseverance in our personal life and our businesses. So I would say in the business aspect, I've had quite a few experiences, and I'm still learning as I aspire to become an entrepreneur. I'll say my daughter, she is really trending by God's grace on that side, and with her baking, and I've been supporting her, obviously as a mother. That alone aside is just an area of perseverance that can be explored. So I would define perseverance meaning a steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. And I've learned that no matter what life throws at us, perseverance is what helps, push us forward. It helps us to grow and ultimately succeed. I'm not sure how many of us will have succeeded. I'm sure, on many occasions, we persevered. We say, no, this is not going to stop us. This challenge is not going to stop us. So I want to start by touching a bit. I'm touching on both sides. Perseverance in our personal lives. Let me start by talking about personal life, where many of us experience some of the hardest tests of perseverance. So I like to use myself as an example, because I think it's one of the best ways to use our stories to encourage others. Because what we do here, I believe many other people are going to be listening to this or watching this at one point or the other. So 14 years ago, I lost my husband at a very young age. I think I was still in my late 20s because he died at the age of 42, left me with a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, so we were both young. I would say 42, still young. He left me to raise our children on my own. I cannot tell how overwhelming that time was. It felt like my entire world had collapsed. Suddenly, I was not just a mother, but a single parent, grieving while also trying to figure out how to rebuild my life for the sake of my children and also for myself. I decided, that I needed to take some time to grieve, because grieving is not only one day. Nobody can become super in terms of grieving. So I took my time, the time I needed to grieve, but I also knew I couldn't let this tragedy define my future. Because I needed to ask myself, when is this going to stop? When am I going to pick myself back up? So I had to persevere for myself and for my children. It was not easy. I wrote a book, Don't Judge Me, I'm a Single Parent, because I really didn't know what it was to be a single parent. I traveled to this country, United Kingdom, and all I used to see was mothers always out with their children. I hardly used to see fathers. And I remember I'd asked my late husband, then I said, why so many women just pushing buggies? And I just couldn't understand that. Not that where I came from, people don't carry children, but it was just so prevalent. And my husband said to me, lo and behold, what's so powerful? My husband made a statement, say, don't worry, he said, a time will come when you will understand. Until it happened to me, obviously people become single for various reasons, but mine was through the loss of my husband. So when I found myself in that position, oh my goodness, then I knew what it was about single parenting. So I had to go through that process. There were days when I didn't know how I would manage. I was stressed beyond measure. There were times when I was put on antidepressants too, after seeking counseling, because I just thought, wow, you could just hear anything about depression and you think, I'm mad, anything negative that has to do with your mental health. But by the grace of God, I went through it all. And I realized that perseverance doesn't mean being unaffected by hardship. It means finding a way to move forward despite it all. So in those challenging years, I learned the true power of inner strength. I adapted, I grew, and I realized that life pushes us in different directions that we never anticipated, but we have the resilience to make the best of those situations. For example, I never knew I would be great at hairdressing until I found myself in that dark situation. I never knew my cooking skills would be better because I used to run away from my mom in the kitchen, But when I found myself in that situation, and, to make things sweeter, let me not say worse, I was also waiting. We were waiting on our immigration status to come through when I lost him. So it was so many things in one. I don't even know how I survived and how I came out. But by God's grace, it helped me to come through. But in those dark moments, I was still able to make other means financially. Perseverance. Because how long was I going to sit down and fold my hands? People will have given, people will have been a blessing, but I needed a way to start pacing myself. So perseverance brings strength, and strength brings hope. And that hope helped me to rebuild a future for myself and my children. Perseverance also we can find maybe with our learning, education, and self-development. It's not just about overcoming big tragedies. Like I mentioned, I've overcome tragedies, but when it came back, for example, to my area of learning, I had to persevere. It's about the daily challenges we face, like returning to school after many years of the classroom. I'll never forget, like when it was time for me to go back to school, and all of this was happening after I lost my husband because I was building my family. So I just thought, that was not the time for me to do all of those things. So years after my husband passed away, I decided to go back to school and continue my education. Went online. I was doing all manners of courses just to develop myself. Something I put up for. Again, like I said, those reasons I listed, responsibilities and also fear. I was like, how old am I to go back to school? Little did I know that age is just a number. No matter your age, you can go back to school. So at the time I was juggling the demands of family, childcare, professional life. And to be honest, the idea of diving back into learning was daunting. But I also knew that self-development was key to opening new doors and advancing in my career. And thank God he helped me to persevere, because I am enjoying the fruit in some areas as I speak. If I had sat down then and not make use, not persevere in the midst of that situation, not make use of what was available for me, I don't know what I would have still been somewhere now, but I don't know if I would have gotten that far. So it was not easy. Many sleepless nights to talk about moments of self-doubt and times when I thought, what am I doing? Maybe it's too late. But I persevered. And that persevering spirit carried me through those moments. I can't exaggerate this enough. So each step I took in my education was a small victory. Every time I completed an assignment, and as I speak, I'm still studying, and this one has pushed me. But by His grace, I am persevering. How, to study, you're working full time, you have family, you have ministry, there are other things. Boy, oh boy, but things have proven that it's never too late to grow. Perseverance in self-development is about constantly striving to be better, regardless of where you are in life. There is a place for us to become better. There's a place for us to improve. We've all had stories of famous people who persevered. For example, J.K. Rowling is a famous author, for example. She faced countless rejections before becoming one of the best-selling authors in the world. So I want to encourage you, all the authors on here, be encouraged. You don't know when your book is going to become best-selling. And you don't even know when your book is going to be such a testament to the lives of others. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. Let it be in your car. Let it be wherever you go, even if there are other 1,000 authors, bring yours out. So if J.K. Rowling had given up after her first setback, we will not have been seeing all the magical. We all know how our children, are falling in love with our storylines, Harry Potter. So perseverance is key.
I think I should tell them.
Now, the same principles we can also apply to business. I think someone has something on.
Just muted them.
Thank you. So the same principle of perseverance we can also apply to business. So like I said, I'm just touching. I believe what I've shared is enough, on the side of personal life. So in the business realm, perseverance is not just important, but essential. Like I said, I'm not a business mogul, but we are all learning. I'm in the journey. And I've seen other people in business around me. When I was growing up, my mom, we used to have everything. And when I say everything, more than enough. So my mom will always put, food stuff on the trays for us to go and sell in the neighborhood. Not that we needed the money, but just to teach us. And she didn't like us wasting food. And that's one thing my mother persevered in. Even when my dad, bless him, he was really giving my mom a hard time. He said, "You're a professional. Why are you in business?" That was a typical African mindset. But my mom persevered and she made money. So in business, it's not always the smartest person or the most talented individual who succeeds. No, it's the principle. Often it's the person who refuses to give up, even when the odds are against them. Recently, I know someone close to me whose goods were stolen. She had them in a garage. She does makeup. She had them in a garage. It was worth £7,000. This I'm talking about 4 or 5 months ago. The woman was shattered. She said to me, "Pastor Fly, I don't know I'm going to start." Every day she takes record. That's when she discovered that, oh, these brushes were here, they've gone. And she took months to stock up. How they did not only take some, they took everything. But on a day like today, she can testify. I wish she was here. I've invited her. I don't know if she's yet on the platform. She can testify because she persevered. What she lost, she had already made up to 3 quadruple. She has testified on numerous occasions since that time, says what she lost, she had already made it. perseverance. First of all, when the shock happens, we're going to feel the impact. After we've gone through all the emotions, what do we do? Because those kind of things can kill people. It sends people straight into a kind of mental health, situation. The trauma, your years of sweat or your months of sweat, somebody just comes all the way and take them. Again, another example. So I'm looking at about life example, an example with others. We look at Walt Disney. He was fired from one of his first jobs because his editor said he lacked imagination. Can you believe that? He went on to create one of the largest media empires in history. We can all see. Our children are watching Disney, isn't it? Disney, the animated movies, but not without facing multiple business failures along the way. It was his perseverance that kept him going when everyone else had doubt in him. So in my own career, I would say I faced challenges too. I've just mentioned. There were moments when I felt lost or uncertain, especially after shifting careers or facing setbacks. I remember times when I wasn't sure if I was on the right path or if I had the strength to continue, but I pushed through. I remember when I launched my first book, and I was going to Sierra Leone. I had to, others persevered for me. I must say, I'm like, I've not been there for a long time. So why am I going to launch my book there? Plus it's Africa, they didn't have money. Thank God I was encouraged to persevere. Not only was the book launch successful, it was more than successful. I had press coverage. I had the opportunity to go on BBC Focus on Africa. I was having a radio interview. I'm like, hey, I was even enjoying the thing that it was not part of the plan. But because I persevered, in fact, even the shipment that I made, my books did not come. People paid for the books even before the books arrived. And I was traveling back not long after that, but I made sure everybody's book was delivered. But I want to appreciate those who helped me to persevere. So we can persevere in business. To be successful, we have to persevere. You make losses, you have to persevere and hope that, okay, the next set, there will be profit. So perseverance in business has taught me that failure is often just stepping to success. My daughter was baking, and there was a time my daughter was baking, and she ended up putting all the cake, all the mixture in the bin. I said, why did you put it in the bin? She said, Mom, it didn't come out properly. Guess what? She had broken more eggs, do a brand new mixture, and started the process all over again. My daughter that I know, she must do something to excellence. I was like, wow, what a waste. But no, she needed to do it back, so she persevered. So every setback one has experienced pushes them to be better, to refine our skills, to never give up on our goals. It's also taught me to maintain a long-term vision, knowing that success really happens overnight. We have to persevere. But obviously to persevere in a smart way. But also it is the result of continuous effort over time. That's where the persevering spirit lies. Colonel Sanders, who is the founder of KFC, had his famous fried chicken recipe rejected over 1,000 times. This is what the article tells me. Before anyone agreed to invest in his vision, and we all knew that he was old, he was over 60. That's the kind of perseverance that makes all the difference. So quickly, how can we cultivate perseverance? We may be wondering, how can we cultivate this kind of perseverance? It's easier said than done. Absolutely, I'm telling you, because when you're in that situation, it feels like it's impossible. But first, let's start with a shift in our mindset. We have to view obstacles as opportunities for growth. It's so difficult for us to see obstacles as opportunities for growth. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a living testimony for me. I don't know. I did not pray for my husband to die because a lot of my challenges in life, I witnessed it since I became a widow. No, I witnessed this when my dad, first of all in Africa, was in prison and I was finishing university. And then the war was coming to an end in Sierra Leone. But I didn't want to leave my dad. People were running away, going to different countries. But I did not want to leave my father in jail. I was attending the court sessions. He was waiting to be hung by the gallows because they accused him of treason. And I don't know how I made it through to the end of university. Perseverance. I don't judge those who ran away. It's just that I didn't want to leave my father. We persevered. We went through humiliation. But wow, good things came out from that situation. And it's the same thing, like I said, when I've gone through my widow's situation, God has just helped me to see. Maybe sometimes we don't want to be in a dark situation, but it's good for us to be there, because that's when our eyes can be open to see other opportunities, just to be able to think a bit outside of the box. If we are too much in our comfort zone, it might be a challenge for us to see. So I've had to teach myself to embrace failure and rejection, because they are part of the process. We are going to go to rejection. Go to rejection by your family, rejection by your friends. If you don't blend, if you don't believe and agree in certain ideas, business ideas, you will be rejected. Even when your product means good and is doing well, some people will reject you. They don't mean it, that you're not good enough. They mean you need to keep pushing. So secondly, it's about breaking down big goals into small, manageable steps. When I went back to school, I didn't focus on overwhelming task of earning a degree. I focused on completing each assignment one step at a time. And boy, oh boy, the assignments are not easy. But perseverance has helped me, not giving up. And finally, it's about relying on our support system. What support system have you got around you? As a business person, again, it's the same principle we are, sharing with the personal life. We need support system. We need mentors. We need coaches. You need lifter, people who lift you up. When you have this business idea, not taking it to somebody that kills your business. Somebody that will say, oh, wow, okay, let's see what we can do. What's your business plan? So for me and my family and friends, I really appreciate all those, my family, friends, my ministry mates, brothers and sisters. There was an enormous source of strength from them, whether they were cheering me up or through my studies or helping me through difficult career transitions. My husband, when I was applying for a course that was lesser than what I'm doing now, my husband said to me, Pastor Floris, why are you putting yourself down? You can do this. I looked, I said, no, I don't want to try. By God's grace, year one is coming to an end of the course. It's not been easy. I'm not even going to lie. But hey, I've not been in consistent education like that for over 20 years. For me to get a merit in my result consecutively, both assignments, I am so grateful. So to sum it all up, perseverance is what transforms obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Whether in our personal lives or in business, it's the ability to keep going that leads to success. I look at my husband. My husband is a typical example. When COVID came, we all know what happened. Businesses, a lot of people were affected. Oh my goodness. Some businesses have closed and they've never been able to resurrect. But some people still came out and they persevered. My husband was one of the people. Persevered. Oh, wow. And at a time like this, he was able to see some of the fruit and he was able to reap some of the harvest. But it was tough for them. If you're self-employed, you need a spirit of perseverance. Just the discipline to get up every day, the discipline to be committed, just to, you go today, you didn't make money, you still have to go back tomorrow, perseverance. But I want to encourage us, whether we are facing personal challenges, career setbacks, moments of doubt, I gave mine, was grief, whatever the factors are, know that the strength to keep going is within you, is within me, is within all of us. Obviously, you back it up. If you're a person of faith, you back it up. Whatever you need to do to keep you going, let's do it. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity. Like I said, the space is not enough to do that, and I am aware of time. So I just want to leave some of that time to you, Lady Beatrice.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I am so inspired by this area of you've just shared regarding perseverance. Now, ladies, shall we give a round of applause to Pastor Floris? I want to see your emojis. I want to see your heart signs. I want to see your, happy signs, whatever signs there are. Let me see them. Amazing. You can see the feedback there with regards to, how excited or people, how appreciative people have been. There are points that I noted while you were speaking, and I just want to kind of talk over them a little bit. And then I think I want to also ask you a question. If anybody has a question, please get ready. Or you can put a question in the chat, or you can raise your hand. If I see your hand, I'll stop talking and then give you the chance to ask your question. But while you're thinking about your question, number one, I want to talk about the area of when you talk about the books, like if you are an author, I know that, I think, yes, most of us on this platform are authors, and it is exciting to know that, or to the journey of writing a book is exciting. To start thinking about it is exciting. Then you write the book and how to market it. I think that's where the main challenge is. I mean, people would say that, oh, it is daunting to write a book. Yes, it is, but not as daunting as even marketing the book. So when you talk about get the book out there, I just want to re-echo that, get the book out there. I'm trying myself to remember that I'm an author all the time, because I remember when I went to Canada in the spring, even though I took the book, and in some occasions I will come out with the book, some of the times I didn't remember. The book will be in my bag and I'll go for whatever event. We will go there, have a dinner. Instead of me bringing out the book and just, talking about it, so I learned from that. But one thing that I took away from there was, on one of the occasions, I was going to Toronto from where I lived, just to see the town. And then I was having the book in my bag. I always carry the book, even wherever I'm going, my book is in my bag. So that is just a tip for all of you. And when you go out there and you see a space, I like to take pictures. When you want to take a picture, hold the book and take a picture. That will be on social media, because in this day and age, where else would people find you? So I was going to Toronto. I didn't know the way, and indeed met this guy. I didn't meet him. He came. I was asking for the transport, and he was also going. He was from Australia. And then, so we got talking, and then the way the system was, we had to get somewhere and alight and now wait for the train. So we got in a bus. A few minutes later, we alighted, and it was just me and him, foreigners. So as we were talking, I just pulled out the book and said, I wrote the book. And then he took one look at it and then smiled and then handed the book back to me. And as the talking continued, I realized that he was a professor of finance. Like, he teaches in a university, and he actually teaches about money and advises the Australian government about financial situations and all that. I was like, oh my God, So, but we left it at that, and then we exchanged contacts. Recently, he was asking me, can I, and this is something that I need to even talk to other women about regarding this education. He said, can you organize women so that I can talk to them about money? Can you see? If I had just met him and didn't have a book, we could have talked about other things. But because it was a short time period, and the book was the only thing that could just tell him, a little more about me in terms of the money aspect, which the title of the book is. So this is just an encouragement to us authors. Carry your book wherever you're going. Let it be in your handbag. Let it be wherever you are. And wherever you go, in whatever circumstance, bring out the book. Take a picture with people with the book, whether they are buying the book or not. The premise is that you don't know who would find the book, and then it will be, and then an opportunity will open there for you. That's one aspect. The other aspect is when you talked about how you launched your book in Sierra Leone. I'm inspired. I am like totally inspired because, again, I wasn't thinking about launching my book in Africa. I've had the questions asked, and you know, we've talked about it in terms of and who is going to do what. You know, sometimes until you hear someone go past the obstacles, you always think about, okay, what about this, what about, and then once you think that way, like, you block yourself from actually expanding your thinking with regards to how far this can go. So hearing you has, if I, to be honest, if I don't take anything away from this conference, just that word alone, launching your book in Africa alone, has inspired me, because I know that that's a possibility for me to launch it in Africa and you know, get the exposure there as well. So thank you so much for that opportunity to teach us. Thank you so much for sharing your life journey with us. Any question, please, to Pastor Floris? I am, you know, I don't want to be the only one talking. Let me see in the chat, has anybody put a question? We need to ask questions, because resilience, perseverance, okay. I'm just reading some of the, I'm just gonna read some of the comments here. Awesome, thanks for sharing. Amazing, from A Joy of Many Generations, that's Pastor Joy. Greetings, okay, that was you greeting us. And okay, so let me see, your book, yes, your book is your baby. And then, of course, yes, carry it wherever you are going. And then a book will connect you to other opportunities, of course, 100%. Now, may I have anybody that is ready to ask a question, or I'm just going to go through the notes, all of the notes. If nobody's hand is up, so I can talk about the next thing with regards to what Pastor Floris talked about. The stolen goods. Wow. How does one come back from that kind of tragedy or setback? You know, there are certain times I am somebody who likes to listen to inspirational books, to listen to inspirational information here and there. But to think that someone can lose, like, what, 7,000 worth of goods, just like that, and to be able to bounce back within months, that is a testament. And that's, if that's not resilient, I don't know what else that is. But the inspiration for us here with regards to this information is that the setbacks will always come. I mean, the challenges will always be in our way. The misfortune would always be in our way. I remember I followed this lady called Patrice Washington, and she would always say that anything that is going to have an impact in whatever you do, it cannot happen without resistance. And the resistance is what would stop us sometimes in terms of not moving forward. So if this lady had given up, can you imagine what would have happened? She would have denied herself the opportunity of bouncing back, and then also denied her customers the joy of actually enjoying her products and services. So thanks for sharing that. Last but not the least, I'm just going to talk about Reiko, about your history in terms of you being supportive with your dad. Like, I was just thinking, because when the war broke out in Sierra Leone, I was in Ghana. A lot of Sierra Leoneans came and settled in Ghana. And to think that, and have that time you were a young woman as well, you know, to be that committed to helping or staying by your dad, I just want to acknowledge you on that and appreciate you. There is a saying in business that how you do anything is how you do everything. So no wonder you are the resilient queen. Yeah, how you do anything is how you do everything. So by the fact that you did not, you know, we always say what, abandon ship, you know, focus on supporting the person who meant a lot to you is a testament to your character and your ability to persevere and then have the resilient side of things. I think the question that I would like to ask you is, in terms of, if somebody, so for example, let's say that in terms of your challenges, your own challenges of going through a loss and then gradually bouncing back, what would you say are the three things that, so it might not just be a loss of a family member, it could be a loss of the goods that you are talking about, or even a loss of your self-esteem, or a loss of any kind.
A job.
Your job, exactly. And what will be 2 or 3 things that you would say the person should focus on, or just to get you started? For example, what would you say would be the things that you would recommend, please?
So number one, I would say determination. Be determined. That's it. Because once you're determined, it just changes your mindset that you can do something. Determination. Number 2, start taking baby steps. You cannot just get up from A and expect to arrive at B. No, not even B. B is too close to A. Not and arrive, let me say, J. It's a huge gap. And sometimes we are under so much pressure because we are trying to catch up, especially when you're recovering from situations. So if we are not careful, that's not good for our mental health as well. So number 1, I would say be determined. Like I said, I was just dealing with a lot of other things. We are dealing with immigration situation where Home Office keeps telling us you must go back to your country. Then after that, my husband just passing away. Then it was after that, then that's when I got my stay. That's when, so I'm trying to process all of those things. So like I said, it took me a while. I did not just jump from the grief, but I just got to that point where I was determined to say, I looked at this children around me. I said, I don't want to lose my mind. The next thing, social workers will take my children away. Back then, if you hear the name social worker, it was a big thing because, you need to know what their duties were. They are working, to support families. So I was just determined by God's grace to look, I have to pick myself up. Then I started taking those baby steps, like I said, started going back to school, doing this course here, doing that course here. I looked at my hands. There is this topic that I had taught on years ago, and one of my leaders taught on. He said, what is in your hand? Look at what is in your hand. Sometimes, my husband always says this, we are looking for answers that are so close and they're even within us, but we are looking outside for the answer. Maybe just because the thing is small, it's not visible, it's not that much tangible, we can't see. So baby steps by start looking even around you before moving. And after that, continue to develop yourself. And when we say develop ourselves, it's not only by going to university or you can develop yourself through various means of development. Knowledge can be gained through, there's so much. We're talking about social media. Boy, it has helped me. Online, we're talking about AI. It has helped me so much. So there are so much opportunities for us all out there. Once we are determined, we start maybe making our baby steps, we're making progress, and we continue to develop ourselves. And by God's grace, we will arrive. Because it's a race we are all running. It's a healthy race, for people who want to be successful in that way. So I would say determination, baby steps, and continuous development.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so many more, but those 3.
Yes. I'm really happy to hear those points that you have made. So for example, determination. There's a saying that when you think you can't do something, or when a tragedy happens, or when there's a setback, the potential of kind of shutting your mind up is always great. But of course, if you are somebody who then says that, okay, this has happened, what next? I'm determined not to be a failure, for example. I'm determined not to let this push me down. So, for example, loss of a husband. I know a lady and who lost her husband some years ago, and she broke down. It's only God knows how she's been able to bring up her children, but she mentally broke down. So I always have this great respect for people who have been able to bounce back after losing a loved one. So the ability to tell yourself that, you know what, I'm determined not to be pulled down by this because it has already happened. What else can you do? And then the other thing is the taking baby steps. Especially when you talk about, for example, the studies, I know of some of us who could do with studying. You don't necessarily have to go back to the main school to study. These days, there are so many things that online people can study and to be able to improve ourselves. Unfortunately, that's not the case for most people. We would rather use our time on other things rather than use the time to learn a skill that can potentially help us in improving our lot, including making money, including getting ourselves a better job, including getting even a promotion. Recently, I was talking to this lady. She has been a cleaner, with no disrespect to cleaning, but I've also known people who have been cleaners and then have moved to become,
cleaning managers.
Exactly, or even nursing matrons in hospitals. So if somebody has been a cleaner for 10 years, so if you have children, fair enough. But as your children are growing up, obviously the other thing that you can think about is, what can I do to be able to improve my lot? And because eventually the children are going to grow and then they're going to leave you. What would you do with yourself? So the aim of resilient and perseverance is that you want to be able to be in a position to to develop yourself, because developing yourself is crucial and is very important. So thank you so much.
Beatrice, I just wanted to touch, you're just touching on everything that so relates to me, and as if in the spirit, talking about moving, from stage to stage. When I started working in school, like I said, my degree was from Sierra Leone. I studied French and sociology. So, then when you come to this country, they say, you have to do adaptation, you have to fit into the system to this. So I was just broken. Then I was waiting on the home office, so I could not do anything. But you see, that Land Direct, I started going to Land Direct, and I was working on my maths, especially the maths. I was not a maths person. I was classified as an art student. So little did I know, when I put all of those things together, as soon as the paper came, no, before the paper came, I was volunteering in languages departments in other schools. So as soon as the paper came, I put all of those things together. And all those places I was volunteering wanted me.
Wow.
From there, I started covering. I worked with SCN students, our lovely special needs. Then I became a cover supervisor. From cover supervisor, when they said assistant head of learning, I looked at myself and said, hey, who can? But I applied the first time. I didn't get it, ladies. Perseverance. I didn't get it. The second time, my heart was not even there. I was already looking for another job outside of the school. It's like, God, anytime I want to leave the place, God will now cause something. People said to me, Floris, everybody around me said, Floris, you apply for this. You will get it. You must get it. People saw, even for me, I got it. Now, at this stage, I am now deputy head of learning. Not only that, this year, I'm saying something now. This is my French that I have left years ago, but because I've been working on it every now and then, whilst I was waiting on my papers, I was doing small interpreting and stuff. Now the French has led me into teaching.
Wow.
So let us not give up. Again, we just spoke at you because you are saying somebody, and this is something I encourage people, just because you're cleaning now. It's up to you if you want to stay there. But there is opportunity for little goats, small. You're going up if you want to. It all comes with determination. and, you know, removing all of those factors that we were talking about, because I went through some of those factors. I didn't see myself as I was good. All the time, other people around me are saying, you're good, go for it, you will do it, you will do it. You know, in fact, when I told my work that I was doing my master's, they looked at themselves. I was in the office because they were shocked. They asked me, say, where? It was shocked them. So they did not even hesitate to give me the role because already I was above even what they were offering.
Amazing.
You know, so it's just to encourage us. I know we all have different journeys, but it's really just to encourage us.
Love it. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, so I'm going to now invite our second speaker for the day, Blessing Yakubu. Where is she? Let me find her, and perhaps I'm going to remove Pastor Floris first. Pastor Floris, thank you so much for I'm just going to remove the pin, and it's asking me, what does it say here? Yes, remove pin. Thank you so much for that, especially adding on to the fact of learning. I know that you are somebody who loves to learn. It is important that we learn and learn consistently, even if you think that what you're learning now is not bringing you anything. Again, they all add up, and building your confidence, for example, and then when the opportunity comes, of course, you are going to be a different person. So moving on, I'm going to introduce Blessing Yakubu, and she is going to speak because this young lady has done so many things so far, and that, in my opinion, is still just the beginning. And being able to speak at a young age is not an easy thing. When I was her age, I wasn't speaking, and she started speaking when she was 16. So it's been a long time. So Blessing Yakubu is a business and marketing student. She is a social media expert and a content creator with the use of AI. Blessing has been a public speaker since 2019 and spoken in business conferences, youth groups, and church events. Her mission is usually to empower listeners about the positive use of social media for the growth of their businesses and personal lives. Blessing has been an Instagram influencer when she managed and grew her at Beauty with Blessing Instagram account to over 20,000 followers. This gave her the confidence to create her Insta influencer course to help young people and business owners learn the skills for Instagram accounts growth. Other skills Blessing possesses include interviewing of influential people, including Ghana and Hollywood superstar Jackie Appiah, and so many others. She is also a sales funnels designer, video editor, and co-creator of several magazines. So Blessing happens to be my daughter. So you're welcome, Blessing. Shall we give a round of applause for this sweet girl? Let me see your emojis. Let's welcome Blessing, please. Emojis and love signs. Thank you, Blessing, for coming on. I really appreciate you, and I also appreciate what you are going to share with us. So take it away, my dear. Do you want what's the word? Do you share screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let me make you co-host then, yeah? Where's that one? Okay, hold on.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me in the meantime anyway.
Yes, so keep talking, please, my dear.
Okay. So my name is Blessing. I am a business and marketing student. I'm currently studying my undergrad. But before I even got into university, I was already involved in digital marketing and social media anyway. As Mum said, it's something that me and my sister Vanessa started doing a couple of years ago to kind of just do something different and see where our love of social media could take us, essentially. So let me share my screen. Okay, present. So I'm just gonna talk about essentially how I got into social media, what that led me into, and then I'm gonna go into my stats, just in case well, I mean, at this day and age, we all pretty much know the power of social media, but just I want to show you my stats, and then I'll also do a bit about AI as well, because I know that AI is something that's new and a lot of parents or people in general don't really understand it. So I'm just going to show you how you can use AI to your advantage, especially for social media. So I started off with a beauty account called Beauty with Blessing, and I started focusing on growing the account around 2018. So that was right after my GCSEs. I was finished with school. I wasn't really sure what to do with my spare time. Me and Vanessa had previously attempted growing an account together, but we had different interests. So the original account was about skincare and makeup and hair as well, which whilst that's something that Vanessa is into, it wasn't really the niche that she wanted to go into. And then I paused also to do my GCSEs. So once I came back from doing my GCSEs, I started posting more. I really committed to growing my account, and I learned a series of tips and tricks that I will share with you guys on how I grew my account. So in my heyday, I grew my account to 29,000 followers, and that was over a 2-year period, so an intense 2 years. But I definitely learned a lot about Instagram and about social media as a whole. And using what I learned, I then used that information to manage Miss Ghana UK. So I managed them. And then I also went on Omega Live. So this is a picture of me and my sister at Omega Live, which is an online TV show that.
Also, we can't see your slide, sorry.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, okay.
So please share. Yes, there we go.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you guys could see it the whole time. All right. So yeah, here's the picture of me and Vanessa at Omega Live. We got to share our stories, our backgrounds. She had a food account, and I obviously had my beauty account as well. So with my beauty account, I pretty much just posted my own and other people's content, obviously giving credit, and then I grew it that way. So because of those skills, like I said, I managed to go on to manage other accounts such as Miss Ghana UK, which helped me kind of broaden my expertise in social media as well. And then obviously the time that I started or I was running my account was during COVID. So I was at home a lot with Vanessa and Mum, and the idea of kind of creating a course came up, and I thought, Vanessa's doing it, why shouldn't I do it as well? I've learned so much in the past 2 years that I had been growing my account. So I then created my account, my Instagram course called Insta Influencer. So my course was designed to teach pretty much anyone how to, first of all, create an Instagram account, then how to set it up, how to grow it, and then how to monetize from it. Because, one great thing about social media is that whilst you can create a following, you can also make money off of it, which is what me and my sister were able to do. So when I grew my account to a good amount of followers. So for me, I waited to get to 10,000. She did at 4,000, I believe, or even lower than that. So when I got to 10,000 followers, that's when I started reaching out to different companies, seeing if they wanted me to advertise their products on my account. And then I got paid for that as well. So just teaching anyone from beginner to medium to expert on how to use Instagram and how to monetize it the way that me and my sister did. So I'm just going to go into my stats because it has been a bit of a while for me with my account, but I thought I'd go back and look at the reach that I had. So I had 29,000 followers, at some points 1 million impressions. So that means that I reached 1 million accounts, whether that's on the explore page or whether that's because they were my followers. I reached over 1 million accounts. I had over 5,000 profile visits a day, so 5,000 new accounts seeing my post and then clicking into my profile and then learning more about my account. And then I also reached 3 different continents. So I reached followers here in Europe. I reached followers in America, which, you know, without social media, I would have never been able to do. I don't really know anyone very well in America. So the fact that my account was able to do that is amazing. And then also Asia. So again, the same with Asia. I don't really know anyone in Asia, but I still was able to reach them. So now I'm just going to talk about the couple of ways to grow your account, the ways that I did. So these were things that I did, things that Vanessa also did with her account as well, that we used to help with the algorithm and boost up the numbers. Because when you're growing your Instagram account, you're essentially trying to work with the Instagram algorithm. And the algorithm is what decides, you know, what it's going to show to more people. If it notices that loads of people are liking a post, then it's going to show it to more people. So the first thing that I did was follow for follow. So reach out to similar accounts to yours. So I'm going to use beauty as an example because I had my beauty account, but I would reach out to similar beauty accounts that posted the same type of content that I did. And I'd just ask them whether they wanted to follow my account, and then I'd follow their account. And because we were following each other, that would mean then the algorithm would see that these are similar accounts. So anyone following the account that I reached out to might potentially see my account because of that. It's all about exposure and just essentially letting people access your account as much as possible. So that's one way to do it. Then the next is gain groups, which I definitely recommend. And a gain group is where a bunch of similar accounts will create a group. So that'll be on Instagram messages. And then that way, whenever you would have a post, you would put it out to the group and say, oh, like my post for a like, comment for a comment. So essentially you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And in doing so, again, this shows Instagram, it shows the algorithm that your post is getting a lot of attention and engagement, which is what it wants to see. And then lastly, a shout out for shout out. So again, just posting to your followers, hey, follow this account and then tag the account, and then that account does the same for you as well. So I would do that with accounts that has similar following numbers to mine, so that it was kind of level, just shout each other out. And again, if it's an account that's in the same niche as you, it's very easy for their followers to become your followers essentially. So now I'm going to move on to AI, and just I've listed here a couple of the ways that AI can be used for social media, for making your account. And I also just want to point you to these 2 images that I managed to create using AI. So you can use AI for not just written stuff, but for images as well. If you're wanting to post content, you could use AI as the type of niche that you go into, as the type of content that you post and create. So here I've got with the different things that AI can help you do, and that's artificial intelligence, of course. So create a content plan / calendar. As someone in social media, if you want to grow your account, you need to have a plan. You need to have a calendar knowing when you're going to post, what you're going to post. So, you know, if you run out of ideas, or if you're a bit stuck with what next could I do content wise, then you could always ask AI, okay, this is my niche. I'm into beauty, I'm into makeup. What type of TikTok videos could I create? What type of Instagram videos could I create, etc. Then the next one is caption suggestions. So what I like about AI is that it kind of takes information from around on the internet and kind of specifies it for you, makes it more more applicable to you in a sense. So you could easily say, I have a video where I'm trying on a lipstick, help me create a caption, and then it would do that for you. So again, if you're just struggling to kind of get started, or if you're at a part where you're not really sure where to go next, AI can essentially be a bit like a buddy to help you in the right direction. So the next one is analyze trends. So a great way to keep your account relevant and to grow it is by taking part in trends, anything that's, you know, going viral. And if you're, again, unsure of, I don't know what's going viral in the beauty community, you could ask AI to analyze the latest trends, the most viral videos, what is the kind of factor that's the same in all of them, or, you know, what are the trends that you could try out. Then there's also the hashtag generator. So that is for hashtags, again, to reach more of a wider audience, especially for people who aren't following you. You can get AI to do that, and you can get AI to also content schedule as well. So now I'm going to show you guys just an example of how I would use AI. So the one that I use is ChatGPT. And usually what I like to do is treat it a bit like it's dumb. So in a sense of just give it as much information as possible. So I'm just going to do a content plan, keep it nice and easy. So I would say, for example, I'm a beauty content creator. So get into the specific about your niche. What do you do specifically? I'm a beauty content creator and need to make a content plan, a content calendar, I'll say. Please give me ideas for what content to create. And this is, again, still pretty vague. I could always go in more specific, but I'll just put this into ChatGPT and see what it says. So here it is. It's come up with a weekly structure for me. So it says Monday, makeup tutorials, Tuesday, skincare routines, Wednesday, product reviews, Thursday, trending looks and challenges, Friday, behind the scenes, Saturday, UGC, so user generated content, collaborations, and then Sunday is self-care. And if you look even down, it's giving me more specific ideas. So if I wanted to do the makeup tutorials, it's given me a bunch of different makeup looks that I could do. I could do bold, I could do seasonal, I could do beginner's guide. And again, this is just from this little simple instruction that I gave it, and it's given me this information. So I'm hoping with this, you explore AI and look into it. And it's even still giving me more options. So I hope you do explore AI and look into it and see what it's able to do, especially in social media. But also, you know, some of you were saying that you're authors. You could also get ChatGPT to look at your work that you've done, ask it to give you pointers, ask it, you know, does this have any punctuation issues, etc. So yeah, again, just take a look at AI and really use it to the best of your ability. Thank you.
All right. All right, Blessing, hello.
Hi.
Okay, are you done?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, can we give Blessing our love emojis, our clapping signs? Please unshare and let me take control from here, please. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. That has been insightful, sharing that with us. Anybody who has a question, please be ready to ask. I would ask Blessing a few questions, but please ask your questions. Great. Pastor Florence says, greetings, blessings. Wow, congratulations. Yes, you get amazing content. That's Pastor Olanike. She is our speaker on Saturday as well. Lovely, lovely, Dala. Yes, you're getting applauds there in that matter. Great. Now, I would love anybody to ask a question, because I know one thing about Instagram growth or social media growth can be very, very challenging. If someone were to start today, Blessing, what are the odds that, what are the baby steps they can take to actually build an account? Just take us through that, please.
Yeah, so if you're creating your account, then you want to obviously start off with changing your profile, not your profile, your username, sorry. So making sure that you have a username that is easy to remember and is easy to share with other people. Oftentimes, Instagram will start you off with a bunch of numbers behind your username, and people just aren't going to remember that or even try to remember that. So having a username that's simple and short. Also making sure that your bio is up to date. So your Instagram will give you the option of editing your bio. So there you can kind of put in information about you. If you're an author, if you're a speaker, you could put it there. You could put any links to any other, so if you have a book, you could put the link to your book in there. Essentially, it's kind of like your Facebook profile page. So think of it like that, in a sense. What else would you need to do? Those are the main ones. Profile picture. So make sure, again, you have a profile picture that is sensible, that relates to you, that represents you the way that you want it to.
Okay, there's a question there. Let me just see. Thanks, Blessing. That's from Pastor Joy. Do you need to create an account to use the chat GTP? Also, do you need to pay to subscribe?
So with ChatGPT, you do need to create an account. So they just ask for your email address, but you don't need to pay. You can get the better version, which is the 4.0, but they ask to pay and I don't pay. I use the 3.5 and that works perfectly fine for me. So you don't need to pay, but yeah, you do need to make an account.
Excellent. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that with regards to the baby steps in terms of starting the account. I know that especially with regards to the profile picture, for some people, sometimes you see that half of the head is cropped and all that. What would be your advice on that? Like making sure that everything is set. What does that look like to have the right profile picture on?
I know some people use selfies as their profile picture, but I personally wouldn't use a selfie, or if so, I would have a very zoomed out. I think honestly, a profile picture is just a picture of your face, maybe there's a background, maybe there's a half, upper, but just making sure you look presentable and, is it a picture that you're happy with everyone seeing, because this picture is going to represent your account, who you are. So yeah.
Very, very important. Great. So also with regards to Instagram, you did talk about the growth. How important is it to be in a game group, for example?
Well, for me, it was very important. It kind of helped me, helped my account reach the algorithm, reach the explore page. So game groups are really helpful for me. And I know for Vanessa, she also benefited from them as well. So I'd say they're beneficial. If you could join a game group, then definitely go for it. Or create one yourself. Create one yourself, if not.
Yeah, so that leads me to the next point of let me mute this person. I don't know how the image has replaced yours. Okay, wait a minute, mute. It's actually muted. Remove pin. Where is that remove?
I've done it.
Okay, good. Yeah, so with regards to the game group, how does one create one? So we are here in this group. I know that there are a few of us here who would like to grow Instagram accounts, for instance. How would we go about starting with creating a game group that would promote the account?
So just one person needs to create a group and then add everyone else in on it's something on Instagram, but yeah, if one person creates the group and then adds everyone in using their usernames, then you can all be in the group. Obviously change the title of the name, call it a game group or whatever you need to do, but it's very easy, very simple.
Okay. And then, so what are the rules of the engagement in a group like that?
So the usual rules are, just like for like. So anytime you post, just send it to the game group and then just, say like for like or comment for comment. And then anyone else in the group who sees that, do that. And then the original person then does the same back. So it's a scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for that. I think the last question I will ask is, you did mention about, no, not a question. I think it's a question. You created a course about Insta influencer. Now, how does somebody become an influencer on Instagram? And then what are the benefits? Because for my age group, when we think about influencer, we think about it differently. Like, I don't want to be stripping myself online or things like that. How do people become influencer? In the first place, who is an influencer? How do people become one? And what is the benefit for them as far as becoming financially independent or making money online is concerned? So let's start with who is an influencer.
Okay, so an influencer is literally just anyone with a big Instagram following. So, when you see those accounts with, a couple thousand followers, that can be described as an influencer. So someone with a big following who essentially uses that following to kind of say, this is what I do, this is what I get up to. Yeah, that's what I would say an influencer is. So to become an influencer, it really depends on the niche that you go into. Because for me, I didn't really, when we're looking at the benefits, like monetizing, making money, I didn't really start reaching out to companies until I hit 10,000 followers. Vanessa, I think she had maybe 2,000 followers or 3,000 followers. She was
1,000.
1,000, there we go. Yeah. So she was a foodie. Her niche was completely different to mine. So she was able to start monetizing at 1,000 followers. So it really does depend on the niche that you go into. But as long as you've got a good engagement, then you can become an influencer. As long as you've got, a good engagement, good following, then you can become an influencer. The main getting into the benefits of being an influencer or the positives, obviously the financial, you can make a lot of money if you play your cards right, but if you're with the right people, if you know what you're doing, if you know what your niche is about and you stick to it, you can make money. And then I think on top of that, it's kind of just having that almost authority. So I know you're saying it with regards to women your age. You don't have to be stripping naked to be an influencer. You could be, we've got Christian influencers, religious influencers, in all different niches, doing all different types of things. So yeah, I think it's kind of just being able to be a voice and have your voice be a microphone. Something that I always like to think of is, even if, so I had 29,000 followers, Vanessa had 4,000 followers. That's still, when you think about it, 4,000 people who chose to follow her. So even if, you've only got, I don't know, a couple 50 followers or 100 followers, 1,000 followers, that's still a good amount of people who've decided to follow you and to listen to what you have to say. So yeah, that's what I would say to that. I actually really wanted to I can't access it on my laptop. I don't know if I can a bit, but there's actually this woman that I see on my TikTok, which is a different social media platform, but she is similar age to you, Mum, and to the rest of the women on the panel. And you'll never believe what she's become an influencer doing. She stands in front of the road, not in front of the road, but she'll stand on the pavement and she'll record herself and a bus will go by. And the reason why she went viral was because it looked like the bus was going to hit her. So people were like, whoa, auntie, be careful, you know, just joking around. And since then, she's been able to do partnerships. She does paid ads where she literally will stand by a bus stop and a bus will go by. And that is literally how she, if I could have 5-10 minutes to search for her account, I will show it to you, because any of you on this group right now would be able to do it. I'm telling you for a fact. So yeah, you could make your niche anything you put your mind to, if you really want to.
That is insane. I wish you could get us the video, because like that would be nice to see. Yes.
I'll try to
The area of influencing has always been something. It's something that I heard a while ago now, when I attended, I think, my first women Christian conference in this country was with Pastor Marjorie. Okay, Pastor Flo has raised her hand. Pastor Flo, did you want to ask a question?
Oh, no, finish. I can go after Pastor Della. Pastor Della put a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I did not see that. Okay, so instead of a blessing, please look for the video, and I will answer. I will look at the chat first, and then I did not see that. Where is the question? Okay.
She was asking, how do you get to create images with AI?
Oh, say that again, sorry.
Pastor Della was asking, how do you get to create images with AI?
Okay, so Blessing, you've got to share your screen to show us how to create images, because I haven't learned that and I don't have the expertise. But if you
could. It was Bing AI. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Blessing, my daughter sent you the name of the lady.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is the Omo. Is that the one?
Oh, did you find the lady?
Omo.oroji on TikTok.
Yeah. I need to sign in so I can share my screen, if you just give me.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. So this is the beauty of the digital age, because whatever you are saying, there's always a proof, you know, to actually see it. And again, I remember when going back to the Toronto story I was talking about, when the gentleman said he was a teacher, a professor in one of Melbourne's university, it was easy to find him. I just Googled, and then there he was. It was so nice. So this day and age, you know, it is not easy to just fool people, because they can always pull you out or up, you know, online. And that underscores the reason why we have this discussion, because we need us to be able to prove ourselves. I always say that you are who Google says you are. Whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing, you get to show people who you are and get Google to understand who you are. Because if somebody is searching you and you are not on Google, it is challenging, especially when it comes to business deals in this day and age. People always want to see you know, the evidence of what you've been doing digitally. So the videos are on here. Let me see if, okay, she's just put us a screenshot of those.
Share screen.
Okay. You want to share the screen? Okay. You share, my dear.
So this is her account.
Wow.
She has 1,000 followers. You can see pinned here, so that's 5.4 million views. I'll click into this one, 15.1 million.
Oh, I can see why people, okay. And this is in London, right? Or which country is that?
She looks like an East Londoner, you know. I can see Stratford, I can see Ilford.
Yeah, so she just London. This is it.
Oh my God.
And she got 2.1 million likes for that, so.
Amazing, amazing. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Blessing. And just on that issue or the area before Pastor Flora, before you ask your question, I just want to talk about this area of influencing with us as believers. Yes, business is number one because people don't know who you are. If not for the online space, let me just say this example. Pastor Floris, I have invited her to speak on my stage. I have spoken on her stage for a number of times now. Pastor Olanike, who is going to be speaking on Saturday, I've invited all these people. You know what? I met them online. I met them online. And most of you, I met you online. So it is about time that we actually legitimize being online and making it a real thing, because gone are the days where people used to say that online is fake. Yes, it is fake to some extent, but you have the opportunity to control the narrative of what people see about you, how people see you, and so on and so forth. So it is important. And for us as believers, we also need the area of influencing so that our voice as believers can come out positively. I know of Christine Kane. I know of Priscilla Sharing, and recently I discovered Sarah Jakes Roberts. You know, I look at these ladies and I'm like, wow, they're Christian women and they're influencing people. So many people are following them. I used to think about Joyce Meyer, but you can see that her generation is slowly, moving on. And then this new generation of the mid-age, 40s, 50s, 60s women are taking control and they are using the digital space. So for those of us who are not even business owners, who are not having interest in business, but yet we have the desire to preach about, our belief to grow the kingdom, obviously, using the online space is very crucial. I mean, I've started sharing UCB messages on Facebook. Those of you who see me, that is what I do. That's my way of, sharing the message. And these messages are also, I believe that they will empower women as well in terms of a business in the business arena. So thank you so much for that. And Pastor Floris, your time to ask your question, please. Blessing, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I was just supporting most of what Blessing was saying because we are in the age.
Your camera on, please, Blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just saying, I was just supporting. If you see, I was just, nodding and agreeing to most of what Blessing was saying, because when this AI thing started again, maybe for us, since, a lot of us here might be Christians, people saw this thing as demonic, this, that, but it saves you a lot of time. Like Blessing said, make it as your friend. You feed it, like you communicate. There is just so much that can be achieved through this tool. And within the next few years, Blessing, I will send somebody's contact. Maybe you might want to connect with her. Maybe she's like you, she knows about all the latest digital stuff and things like that. But one of the things we are learning in the next few years, some jobs are not going to be existing anymore.
Yes.
So we need to educate ourselves with the online apps as much as we can. Those of us who have businesses, those of us who have, if you have a product, we're talking about persevere, just keep pushing it out there. Use everything that you can. Like Blessing was saying, you can use, for example, ChatGPT to ask, what can I do to help to push my product? This is the product that I have. There is so much we can learn from this. So yeah, I was just agreeing to all that you were saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In all this that you just went back to the area of if you are in business, keep pushing. I just want to add to the conversation in terms of what Blessing was sharing. If you listen to what someone is saying or what she was sharing about how she grew the account, It sounds so easy, right? It really, really sounds easy until you start to do it and you realize that, of course, resistance is going to happen because you are dealing with people. You can't just go and get a bunch of people to come and follow you. But the perseverance is what makes it worthwhile. And also, we need to give ourselves the permission to pat ourselves in the back, because when they were growing their accounts, obviously their accounts grew far faster than mine. I was still struggling with, coming to terms with this and understanding it in my own way. But I made it a point that even if they got 5 followers, it was time to celebrate. Just 5 people. And the reason is that, especially in the online space, if one person follows you, it means that you have done something that got them to like you, to like the content that you share, to say that, yes, I agree with you. Oh, yes, it has inspired me. Oh, yes, it has helped me in one way or the other. So it's important that we think about it in that manner, rather than, oh, a bunch of people are following us, and if they're not following us, then it becomes a different thing. Let us think about it. And even if it's one person who has liked your post online, it says something. Because guess what? Number one, it's not everybody who creates content online. It is not everybody. If you look statistically about the Blessing, do you have any statistics on that, on Instagram, like how many people actually create content online? You don't? Yeah, okay, don't worry about that. I saw this I didn't actually take note of them, but I know that it is just a small percentage of people who have accounts on Instagram who actually create content. Every now and then, people will come and post and go away. But for you who are into business, or for you who wants to influence people, and in terms of the influence, we are talking about positive influence, you need to be able to be consistent with the content creation. So in terms of being consistent, it is easy for us to get a challenge, to get bogged down in terms of, oh, I've been posting and nobody's liking, or I've been creating content and people are not seeing. But think about the bigger picture. I recently attended an online event, and then this guy was sharing when he first started in business. Now, this is a guy who has gone to become a billionaire, literally, from 2015, when he created his software, to this time. He's become a billionaire. But he showed us a video when he was starting out, and his first engagement, a speaking engagement, and how embarrassed he was. And you can see that in the video. It's good that, I mean, he has that video to show, because now when he is talking on stage and a lot of people are running to buy whatever he has to sell, most of us are just seeing the fact that he is now successful. But it had to take the consistency. He had to take the rejections. He had to take the no's from people. And even I remember in part of the video, he finished speaking, and then the MC comes to say, "Oh, give him a round of applause," and nobody clapped. Nobody clapped in a room full of people. MC says, "Give this person a round of applause." Even if it's an online, fair enough, you just switch off and then go. But he was standing in front of all these people. So if he had given up, guess what? We won't have him today to be a testimony of successful people. In fact, he's gone to build schools in Africa. He's an American, but he builds schools in Kenya. That's what he does, with his charity arm. So yes, if other people, what I always say is that, especially for us from the diaspora, if most of us have always depended on the Western world to help us in one way or the other. Fortunately, we are here. We are not just looking for success just for ourselves, but we are also looking at the bigger picture, in terms of being able to generate this wealth so that we can help other people. But you cannot do that if you don't put your resilience cap on. resilience and perseverance. If you don't put that cap on day by day, because at the end of the day, it is the person who can stand longer that wins. Most of us are building businesses. It is challenging. I'm not going to lie. It is challenging for every single one of us. But what I also know is that, and again, I'm reading a book on the Unfiltered from a lady that I follow for years, Rachel Peterson. I referenced her in my book. She is talking about all the challenges that will come when you're even, and she said she used to think that, oh, if she got to $1 million, all her problems will disappear. But she said they have actually multiplied. But at every step that we take, it's supposed to be the resilience that we break through to get to the next level. Without that, it won't happen. And I'm so grateful that to you, Pastor Floris, for getting us through the stages of becoming resilient, and also for us just to think about it in a way that, what, it is important that we get to what we have decided we want. And the other thing I would mention also is the fact that there are so many people who don't think the way that we think, especially if you are an entrepreneur. There are many people who don't think like that. And how or why is it that we have these thoughts? We have these thoughts to create products for people. We have these thoughts to help people in terms of with our ideas, with our product or services. We have these ideas to build wealth, to be able to give to other people. I would say it is divine inspired. And of course, nothing good comes easy. That's the old song that we used to hear when we were growing up. Nothing good comes easy. And that is why learning or taking these steps in terms of what we have just discussed tonight forward is crucial in our work with becoming financially business savvy, becoming financially successful, and also even in our personal life. So that is it in a nutshell. Just for one final thing, if you have your last question, please let us know. Raise your hand or put it in the chat. Otherwise, I want to say thank you, Pastor Floris. Thank you, Blessing, for helping us understand AI. AI is something that I need to get my head around. I can do the simple basic things, but of course, I need to learn more. And thank God for your life, and thank God that you have been doing this. Hopefully, we get to put our perseverance cap on and then persevere to understand what AI can do to help us in whatever we are doing in terms of content creation online. I think this is Pastor Della. Your hand is up. Are you going to ask a question, please? You can unmute yourself and do that.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Yes, please. I just wanted to ask about what is the difference when it comes to Facebook and Instagram sale and all that. And I want to ask Blessing, because I have almost 10K followers on Facebook. What can I do with that? I know I share scriptures and all that, so I don't know if that was what brought people. What else can I do?
Okay, Blessing, question to you, my dear.
Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram are two different social media platforms. They are owned by Meta, so that's the parent company, but they are two different platforms. So Facebook came about first, which is all about, I guess, photo sharing, and kind of the same with Instagram, but Instagram came out later than Facebook, and is definitely more of where people are when it comes to being active on social media. So my recommendation is to definitely look to see if you could get your followers to start maybe following you on Instagram. If Instagram is something that you want to start looking into, then definitely just encourage them to follow you on there. And then also one really good way of kind of keeping both accounts going is for everything that you post on Facebook, post on Instagram as well. So that would be my recommendation for you at this moment.
Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I also want to add that, Pastor Della, I have seen your products online. I also want to add that usually what people don't like is when it's like buy, but it's when you ask question, especially for products, when you ask question, because you know the people who buy the product or the people who use the product, what are the challenges that they face. If you use that in a question form, then of course people are going to become interactive rather than you just telling them facts, and then it becomes, okay, I already know this, or I was thinking about this and you've already given me the answer. So think about it in that way. And then the people who are now engaging with you, selling is usually taking them to the DM. So taking them on direct messaging rather than giving them the link on the platform, because in that sense, before you give them the link to your website or to the things that you want to buy, have a conversation with them on the DM to establish what their needs are, because sometimes some people just need their questions answered, and if you are able to do that, then you can have an engaging relationship with these people in terms of moving forward to selling. Okay, any other questions? Did that answer your question, shall I say?
Yes, please. Brilliant. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, so without any further questions, thank you so much, everyone who has been here. Lady Martha is here. Let me put on my glasses and read the names. Lady Martha is here. Sister Alberta, thank you for coming along. Pastor Olanike, she's very busy, but she's been able to make it tonight. I'm so thankful. Sister Bola was here. She was one of the first people. Thank you so much for staying until this time. Lady Catherine, Coach Catherine, amazing. Thank you so much. And Pastor Bola, thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate you all. Thank you so much to our speakers. Let's give them one more time our heart emojis, a round of applause, and then yes, do have a good and lovely night. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow, God willing, 7 o'clock is the time. Who is going to be speaking? My daughter, second daughter, Vanessa, is going to be speaking. If you heard from Blessing, hearing from Vanessa is going to make a complete sense to you, because sometimes when you hear that, oh, I made I started monetizing my account when I got to 10,000, then you're thinking, when would I ever get to 10,000? Vanessa started monetizing when she was at 1,000. It wasn't a walk in the park, but she did it DMing so many business owners. She ended up working with 30 different business owners in London, food companies. So it is possible to be able to monetize with a smaller account. So hearing from her would be something that would inspire you as far as growing your Instagram account is concerned, or your social media for that matter. Also, time management, Vanessa is very good at that, because when you talk about social media, one of the things that we have challenges of is the time to be able to do it. And indeed, I think Vanessa's story just would inspire, if you have a young person, inspire them. To be honest, Blessing was 16 when we started, but Vanessa was 12. And she started and she grew her account. So be here tomorrow. Lady, what's her name? Oh my goodness. Lady Cecilia is going to be speaking as well tomorrow. She is a tech guru who, this is her term. She said she wants to take away the tech phobia. Most people are intimidated with tech. She wants to help us to get rid of that and embrace tech, because without tech, life is going to be challenging. And she empowers women to take tech seriously, and whether be it career-wise, be it your business or even your personal growth, it's important that we embrace tech. And how can we do that? By listening to somebody who has done it herself, who had no tech background and has been able to lead companies in the tech role. So that will be us tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you all. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.